Hey, what's going on? Luke here, and I've got a little video for you that's a little bit different to what I normally do. Normally, it's just me, but today I have Hayden from Entertain House. Thanks for coming onto the channel, and obviously the topic is going to be Joey Manu. So we just sort of discovered that, Joey Manu has said that he is leaving the Roosters at the end of this season. Seems to be pretty much a done deal. Is that a done deal?
I don't know anything official. Obviously, we've been filming our jersey rankings, and in that time, this announcement's kind of come out. So it's come out at a really good time. I don't know if it's an official done deal, but from what I can see via all reports, it is at least French rugby at the end of the year. And even if it's not a done deal, we saw it with Jerome Luai and all those rumours floating around that seemed to lead to it's a done deal. We had to wait a long time for the confirmation, which might be the same thing here. Joey might come out in March just before he goes off to Vegas and confirm this news to be true. I don't expect us to get a confirmation over the next few days. We could get it. And I think it's a good thing on the part if we do get it sooner. I think a lot of, teams let players, leave or announce that they're leaving and let it drag on so much, especially with the Suwali situation that we saw with the Roosters. So for the Roosters to come out and kind of announce this or for this news to be out, I think it's actually some weight off the Roosters' back if they've known about it for a little while.
It's crazy for the Roosters just in particular. Is I'm used to them having riches in the outside backs and just team they're always a team that you look at their squad and they're absolutely stacked. Then all of a sudden now Suwali's going, Joey Manu's going. They brought in Dom Young. Yeah, great signing. But he, at the time, he was a luxury signing. He wasn't a needed guy. All of a sudden, to me, I'm like, geez. And also, Daniel Tupou is getting a lot older. Is their lineup sort of looking a little bit weaker in terms of next year? Obviously, a lot can happen in one season. Joey Manu might even back out of this. Who knows? But just the breaking news is, I don't think this is good news for the Roosters big time. I think this is terrible news for them.
I think it's really bad news considering they've gotten rid of, obviously he's not a centre, but they've gotten rid of Drew Hutchison, who goes to the Bulldogs, who can cover that position in time. They've gotten rid of Paul Momirovski, who could cover that position in time. And then, look, I hate to say it, but I'm being honest here. Billy Smith is a great player in rugby league when he's on the field, but when he's on the field is a rare occasion. So for the Roosters to lose this kind of depth in the centres and have Joey Manu, part and have all these players that they've kind of gotten rid of. Obviously, it's the Roosters. They're going to find someone to cover those positions. It's just a fact that that's going to happen. But at this current moment, you can't tell me that the Roosters have depth in the outside backs if, something was to happen this season involving the injury there of the centre position, or as you said, being a weaker side in 2025 and trying to bounce back from that.
And I suppose to keep in mind too, we're well aware of it, and everybody's aware of it, is that when the Roosters seem to be down and out, next minute they've got the best player coming and signing. But I will say Joey Manu, to me, kind of seems to be getting groomed to be the next fullback as well. It's no shock that James Tedesco's kind of been regressing as he gets older, and I've been a lot of talks with him to be dropped as the New South Wales fullback, and just his form overall as the Roosters fullback, it's not what he once was. And then the problem is that Joey Manu was performing so well when he was put in other positions that they're trying to sort of manufacture him into being 5'8" or chuck him into fullback, and I don't know whether that's where he would have ended up with, but I think it kind of got to the point where the Roosters don't want to get rid of Tedesco, so they had to lose Joey Manu. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a situation where he sort of goes overseas for a season or two, Tedesco leaves, and then he comes back. But in terms of danger signs for next year, I know this year all of a sudden kind of feels like an all or nothing season for them.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting one because he's had that future there, and I think it's going to be interesting to see if this news is true and officially comes out in the next few weeks. We've seen players announce that they're leaving the club, and you don't necessarily seen them become softer, but you've seen them kind of put less effort into the game to protect their body to go over to England or Rugby Union wherever they go. So it's going to be interesting to see if that electric side of Joseph Manu we're going to be seeing. Obviously, he's probably going to be in the New Zealand squad in the New Zealand Maori game. So that'll be our first kind of look at Joey Manu. And if you notice he's getting less of the ball, doing less in the game, then you can probably put together that this will be his last season in the NRL, at least for the foreseeable future.
It's just something that I think that I think a lot of clubs subconsciously do. I don't know if they intentionally do it because it seems detrimental to the club. But when a player announces they're leaving, not necessarily to another club, seems to be when they leave to another code altogether. Say for Suwali, for example, just all of a sudden it was like, oh, Suwali, he's not this superstar anymore. He's kind of this like plotter, like definitely dropped down in form, that sort of stuff. Wasn't getting the same opportunities. A lot of the hype sort of died around. Be interesting to see if Joey Manu, because he has a lot of hype at the moment, a lot of talk about him being the best centre, potential to be the best player in the game, that sort of stuff. It's just be interesting to see whether he continues to perform or, like you said, whether he kind of, not coasts, but whether there's a lot more media scrutiny because he's not going to be there next year. They can feel like they can do it. And it'd just be interesting to see what the Roosters do because... Again, I think they had some big plans for him just by the looks of things, and he was such a versatile player, similar to Latrell. But when Latrell was there, they still had Joey Manu to sort of rely on as well to do the same thing. Now Latrell's gone, Joey Manu's gone, Suwali's gone as well, or Suwali, you should say, who's quite versatile as well. All these guys who were absolute studs, who were super versatile. If you had someone go down the halves, if Sam Walker's not playing good, Joey Manu slots in. Fullback goes down, you can chuck in there, you can chuck into Ali. So many things that all of a sudden in one season gone.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a big change for the club going into the 2024 and especially 2025 season once the news gets confirmed.
Now, I think the next thing to sort of talk about is whether... do we think he's going to come back to the NRL? Because a lot of the Kiwis sort of they grow up looking at World Cups, and we've seen actually the Roosters themselves being a big one with it. With players, we've seen Sonny Bill there, even Roger Tuivasa-Sheck sort of came through their ranks. Didn't directly go from the Roosters to Rugby Union, but we've seen them all. Pretty much like all the guys who have left rugby league have ended up back in rugby league at some point, but. Not a lot of them have gone on to reach the successes that they had previously. So, do we think Joey Manu, can he leave and then come back and be just as good?
I think he can come back to the NRL. I don't know if you can say... Look, I think there's part of me that says that Joey Manu just may have reached his peak. He obviously has that opportunity to continue to progress as a player. But you mentioned James Tedesco, who seems to be regressing with age. And obviously Joey Manu is a lot younger, but he has achieved so much in his career. He's covered so many positions. And maybe by doing that, we've seen the best of his ability. In regards to coming back, though, he's still one of those players that I could see coming back in 3 years' time and leading a side to a premiership. Absolutely. If he plays the way he does and is able to cover positions due to injury or, as we mentioned, the best centre in the game, signs with, let's just say, the Bulldogs as the centre, leads them to a premiership, I can absolutely see him being a lethal player after a little bit of a stint away from rugby league.
The one thing I'll say about the Roosters is that I feel like they don't lose players without a plan. Say, for example, Tuivasa-Sheck leaves, right? Like, we know how good he was. He'd come through the system. He'd won a premiership with them. It's been groomed to take over from Minicello. All of a sudden, he's leaving, and it's like, wow, I can't believe it. One season they had Michael Gordon there, kind of a little bit of a throwaway season. Next minute, Tedesco's there. Next season there. As much as it seemed like a doom and gloom, or not even doom and gloom, it's crazy how like this is like a huge situation for the Roosters. Just sort of goes to show you how strong their side is, but they're still going to be serviceable. It's just, yeah, with Joey Manu, like in terms of him coming back, the only thing I'll say is he gets a little bit older. To me, he's like a work rate guy rather than like obviously he has the finesse, he has the skill, but he's not this like crazy ball player, chucking out grubbers and all that sort of stuff. Or he's not this like explosive electric guy. He's the guy who kind of gets in there, and obviously he's renowned for being the guy who sets records for the most amount of meters and runs and stuff. So if he goes and plays rugby union for a few years and doesn't do that, when he comes back to the NRL, is his motor going to be gone?
That's a good point.
It's just very, very shocking, but also like, I don't know about you, but is it like not shocking at the same time? Because only a couple of days ago, I think he came out and said he wasn't going to play for anyone but the Roosters.
Yeah, it's interesting. We see a lot of players come out and make those decisions and say this isn't going to happen or this isn't true, and it's just part of, covering that story and protecting their own future. They're obviously taking, higher money or taking different offers for these roles, whether it be a new club or whether it be going overseas to play a different sport or even the Super League as well. So I don't think you can read too much into what he said the other day if these rumours are true. I think he might have known this for a while, probably waited till after Christmas, New Year period to kind of bring the news to the Roosters. And now that it's come out, maybe someone slipped something of the tongue and we've got an Angus Crichton 2.0 situation of the Roosters with Chinese whispers.
Definitely interesting times in the NRL. Obviously, the Vegas stuff happening. It's going to be a big season. We're in the off season for 2024, and we're talking about 2025 at the moment. But definitely interesting times for the Roosters. A lot of pressure on them, I would say, going into this season now. Suaalii and also Joey Manu reported leaving. I don't know. It could be definitely a big change in just the Roosters in general. Obviously, I just talked about Tedesco being a lot older, out of form. Luke Keary's another one who is sort of aging. When I say like a change in faces, it's just, they might not be going next year or whatever, but they're definitely on the lookout for their next 5'8", the next fullback. At least you would think they would be. And Joey Manu, I think, definitely was in the plans for at least one of them. Like I said, the versatility was, he could have potentially taken over from a Luke Keary, could have taken over from a Tedesco, could have just kept in the centres. And he would have been probably a star in all of them. So a huge loss for the Roosters, a huge loss for the NRL. I will say, though, in terms of Joey Manu, he's not someone to me that is... Okay, like he's a fantastic player, ability-wise, a superstar in terms of actual well-known popularity. I don't think he's this massive mainstream superstar sort of guy. I kind of look to your Reece Walshes and stuff as being... those sort of guys. But he is a very popular player and he definitely is going to be a loss for the NRL.
Yep, agree. Absolutely.
Well, I'm going to wrap things up here. Thanks for coming onto the channel. Do you want to give a little plug for your channel here?
Yeah, sure. Go head on over to the Entertain House YouTube channel. When will this video be coming out?
I'm going to be doing this on Saturday. Oh, sorry, Friday.
Okay, so
Friday.
Perfect. So on Monday, you guys are going to see myself and Mr. Luke Sports ranking all the 2024 jerseys. And then you're also going to see some Super Bowl content over the weekend, as well as some stuff from the charity match, which will actually be, if this is coming out Friday, that might have just come out. So all the stuff from the Sports Shed TV charity match and, getting into the 2024 season. And hopefully we can get a vlog together sometime.
And, Might have to get to next year's Sports Shed one. But yeah, definitely I'll definitely be looking to head up to Sydney. We'll do a little vlog. Might have to go to the Bulldogs and Eels. But thank you for coming on to the channel. Thank you for talking about Joey Manu. That's where we're going to wrap things up here, guys. If you happen to enjoy this one, leave a like, subscribe. You kind of know the deal at this point. It's same stuff every single time. Subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Social media on the screen. It's Mr. Luke on YT. Also, Hayden, your socials as well.
Oh, yep. Just over on Instagram at the Entertain House, and then on TikTok, Entertain YT.
There we go. Go give both of us a follow. And I just want to sort of give a mention to the members, super chatters as well. You'll be seeing them on the screen right now. Thank you for sticking by me. Laptop's been playing up a little bit, so being a little bit inconsistent with the streams, but you guys have been super loyal to me, so thank you for sticking by me. And look, I'm going to wrap things up here. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. See yous.